Hello, I'm Dan G.
Why hello, I'm Dan D.
And hello, this is Milf.
And right now, it's GT4 Prologue, not the full GT4, but a very tiny sliver of the game.
There's some mags are claiming to have already reviewed.
Yes. Sliver of the game shaved off and given to us in advance of the finished product, or rather given to the Japanese market in advance. Doubtful as to whether it's going to come out over here before we get the full game. A taster for GT then, and yes, very good. I'd like some more, please. No other cars on the track, only 5 tracks, very tiny little part of the game, but it shows off sufficiently that GT4 is going to be very good in my book.
Yeah, does anyone care though? It's GT again, isn't it? It's exactly the same.
I mean, there's so many kind of realistic driving games in the market now. It's just, you know, do we need another one? I know it's GT and everything, and it plays very well, but
yeah.
It has been said that when you're looking at these in-car shots, for example, it's not as big a step as people would have liked. I think the rally stages is where you really kind of notice it.
But people are judging this kind of the second game on PS2 against the first game on PS2 when it was such a leap from PS1.
Yeah.
You know?
It could have been slightly unfair with it. The handling model is even more real this time. You feel like the back end's going to come out and stuff. You really feel the weight of the cars a lot more. It does look better. I think people are a little bit disappointed with Prologue at the minute, just because there's nothing to race against. You're kind of driving around these empty tracks. They haven't quite put enough in it to kind of really kind of tease you into the full game. But I'm prepared to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I want to see the full game.
To be honest, I'll play devil's advocate, but I do know that when it comes in, it's going to be brilliant. There's going to be something you go, yeah, that's brilliant. That track's brilliant. That car's brilliant. Playing it is brilliant. Progression structure, brilliant.
You do still get a real buzz from doing the really tight city tracks.
Yeah.
The little kind of village one is brilliant to play.
Yeah, that's
Go down really tight little streets. It's great.
I lied to myself that it was over. It wasn't over.
A game that we played at the same time that you played it. That's the shocking truth. The game they tried to hide.
It's the game they didn't even show anyone until it was in the shops. Well, certainly, nobody.
Reason being, it's a little bit rough around the edges on your PS2, I'm afraid. It's a decent enough game, bites off slightly more than it can chew graphically, and as a result is slightly shonkier running than the previous game. Okay, if you were mad keen on the first one, you wanted some more, then give it a go, but having played the first game a lot, the first 5 minutes of this, you'll be wondering what the heck's going on, because it feels different, it looks different.
Yeah, I don't know what the place is for this anymore. To say it's a poor conversion. This trailer makes it look absolutely brilliant as well, which is slightly misleading. But yeah, if you want realism in the environments, you get Getaway. If you want a really good shooty game with the novel bits, get something like Dead to Rights. And this bullet time effect, as good as it was 3 years ago, it's had its day, isn't it?
This trailer's the absolute business, though.
Oh, it is the business. I'm thinking, even though I know it isn't that good,
I want to play it.
I want to go and play it.
Yeah, exactly. People are watching this going, yeah, shut up saying it's rubbish. I'm not listening. No, it's not rubbish.
It looks brilliant.
It's not that good. It's not very good.
It's just a shame to be... PS2 can do better than this conversion is. And it's that sort of patronising. Yeah, well, we did it on Xbox, here it is.
At least he's not got his stupid scowl constantly on his face.
His
like
lavatorial...
Yeah.
Nice. Taking bullets in his brain.
Yeah, okay. Not super great.
Oh, there he goes.
That's a pain.
Is that the fall of Max Payne?
That was it right there. Bam. Oh.
You pinball wizard, Dan?
Yes. No, only joking. It's pinball in space.
It's not quite in space. There's a thing in every review of a pinball game where you're contractually obliged to say, but of course, real pinball is on a thing with flippers, and it's this, and it's heavy, and you can't hear someone smoking on your head. But this knows that, and as a result, it's played to the medium of video games by creating these incredibly exciting animated little forests within the pinball table. But I think this is... Oh, wait, it is just a pinball game. You have just got a few buttons. But the variety of stuff that's happening is always these mini games. The animations are really beautiful. It does feel solid, even though you're only whacking the X button on your DualShock. I think this is a really good game, and if you could pick it up at the right price, you'd be dead pleased.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving about very confidently. PSU's not having any trouble at all. It's very bright, very colourful. Lots of originality in stretching pinball literally as far as it can go. But, you know, there's still the undercurrent that it's still just pinball for me.
Yeah, it is just pinball, of course it is. I mean, they are just metal balls being whacked about, but they're good metal balls.
What exactly is a dark lineage?
Or a Kaya.
For that matter.
Well, I do know she's got the ability to control wind. Which is... yes. Oh, yes.
Which is more than can be said for most of us. Fantastic.
But that controlling wind aspect's very, very good.
How does that manifest itself?
It's, well, basically, there's wind that blows and you fly in it.
Good.
It's not that amazing, but you know, it's quite a novel thing. It's a game that expands as you go on, like most games. But you do learn new skills all the time, and so the more you play, the more exciting it gets. The more routes you've got to take. You can surf on your feet. That's brilliant. It's just one of these things. It looks nice, but not brilliant. It plays well, but not amazingly. It's good, but you wouldn't buy it in preference to Ratchet or Clank 2 and Jak 2.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, if you bought it, you might play it and like it, but would you go and buy it for yourself? I don't think you would.
It's kind of in a strange place. If this was next to Ratchet, and especially Jak 2 on the shelves, why pick this one? And the answer is there is no good reason. They'd have to have completely sold out or banned and burnt all the existing Jak 2s for you to have to buy this.
If you offered a bundle pack of a PS2 and someone said free Kaya, that's a good thing.
Yeah, have it.
But, yeah.
It's okay. There's no reason for it to exist. I suppose if you're absolutely mad and you'd finished the games we've just been talking about, if you finished that and you wanted some more, then there's always this. Very nice. I mean, but personally, I'd rather play BG&E, the game that nobody bought. I'd rather play BG&E than that. And even that's like second to Jak 2.
You'd rather carry your camera in a game where you can't actually hit anyone, flanked by a pig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flanked by a pig.
Flanked by a pig.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go and buy BG&E. Well, while we're here, might as well tell you. Go and buy that. It's good.
Yeah, a game previously described by us as a choppy, glitchy World War II flight simulator. Who gives a shit? Actually quite good.
Yeah.
I met the dudes at last year's E3 who were making this, and it was just, with all due respect, they were the most intense, quite boring men I've ever met. But they did make the brilliant TIE Fighter games, am I right to say, on PC?
Yeah.
Yep.
So but that's the thing with it, because everyone's gone, World War II flight sim, whatever, and then some just by the guys that did the TIE Fighter games, and everyone goes, good. It's good. I mean, I'd rather play something like Deadly Skies or Ace Combat myself than me flight sim, flying fast, firing lock-on missiles and this kind of thing. So this is kind of a little bit old school for me, a little bit kind of PC, oldie worldy. But I'm sure it'll find a market somewhere. This, you know who you are. This is the game for you. It's a Spitfire flight simulator. Go and get it in. But not for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a game where you look at it and go, because it doesn't look brilliant, let's be honest. But when you start to play it, you go, oh, quite challenging that. What might another go? Just see if I can do this a little bit better. Oh, that was quite good. Oh, the next mission sounds intriguing. Just lures you right in. But most games like this, it's just the sky.
Shooting a dot in the middle of the sky.
You can see the sky outside the window now. It might be grey, but at least there's no Spitfire planes.
It's the old game of aligning the little crosshair up with the black dot, and when dogfighting, it's quite generous in its dogfight, so in that it will set up a plane in the middle of the screen who will helpfully sway about a little bit. Dogfighting games go completely bananas when you're constantly flying past each other just trying to get a lock on.
Probably the best flight game on PS2.
Yo. In a word,
Yo, indeed.
it's the word on the street. Yo, you want a piece of me?
But you've got to kick some game or something
Yes.
first.
Have my ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like this.
Is it?
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Honestly, I know you're looking at me then thinking it's going to be an absolute turnip. I like this. It's, I suppose, NBA Street or
Red
card soccer fused together in this sort of. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? I don't think this ever happens in real life. People getting together in like casual sportswear to bust out some flying moves. It happens in Nike adverts.
Yeah.
Which is good, but this isn't the Nike advert. If this was like
Bosh.
Edgar Davids approved and sponsored
Yo.
by Nike, it'd be massive. But the moves are really impressive, and like you've got to use them to score, which means they're not just like a frivolous little extra. You have got to bust your gut to get some goals in.
Bickety
Look at that.
Bam.
Doing that last night.
Yeah, right. Look at it. Not so bad. Doesn't look too bad. The
Not so
live action stuff, that looks shit. That's putting me off.
Plays a fairly solid game of football, but you know it's. I don't know. Again, would you pay full price for it?
It's a strange one. I mean, I prefer like NBA Street over NBA Live, but I'd rather play proper football than mini football. I think.
Look at that.
No matter how balmy you've got.
Just had a lot of fun shooting this video, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Good skills as well. Mad skills. I'd say. Netbuster.
Whack.
It looks like a sort of.
No, not whack. Good.
Looks like a commercial for milk or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or winners don't smoke.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
They're clearly
Play football.
Clearly loving it. Oh yeah. And EA are going to rip this off, aren't they? They've got to do that.
Apparently they're not going to this year, but if they do FIFA Street and they get Edgar Davids in and Raul and all the world's best players doing their best signature moves,
Yeah.
it could be absolutely ginormous. Particularly if they do it in the style of the Nike adverts, set it on a boat or something.
Yeah.
Or in
That's
an
the
airport
important
like the
bit.
Brazil advert. It'd be brilliant.
Retro games are brilliant, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Fantastic.
They rule, MILF. That's what I'm going to say.
Except they don't.
Oh well, they sort
Not
of
all
do.
the time.
Games these days are totally not as good as this, are they? This is what it was all about.
Look at the pixels on that. None of your polygon rubbish.
There's some good games on this. So Gauntlet, admittedly, almost 20 years ago in the arcade, 4-player on a huge machine, was an immense fun. Looks like a pig's ass, but I mean, it good game. Paperboy as well.
Paperboy. Boy made entirely out of paper.
Look how fast it is. It's brilliant.
Look at it. Oh, my eyes. Ow.
And that brilliant bit where you went on the dirt track afterwards. Oh, I love that bit.
Wicked. Arcade Treasures is kind of pushing it a bit.
Yeah,
right?
it is a shade. I mean, look at
Spy
Spy
Hunter.
Hunter. Who needs a new version? In your face is what it's all about. It really is a case of I looked at this and it's going to be rubbish. Then I looked at the list of games and thought,
Yeah.
it is going to be the best thing ever because I loved all of these games.
Yeah,
If you're old
Smash
enough,
TV.
if you're old enough to remember a lot of these, then you will find something here.
Yeah,
at least,
yeah.
at least for like half an hour per game.
Yeah, half an hour
Absolutely.
during which you realise that it's nowhere near as good as you remember it.
You get around your equally old mates and go,
Yeah.
I've got, and they go, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll turn it off now, will you?
It's
Oh, that's a
they've got to be admired for putting so much stuff on because lots of arcade compilations they get a little bit cheeky and put like 4 or 5 games on. I mean, what's that like?
It's got
15?
about 20.
Oh, 720 though, for a P&L. I still love this.
Yeah.
Look how good it is. In your face, Tony Hawks.
Is that Tony Hawk on the GBA, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at the speed of that.
I used to skate there when I was a kid.
Bam.
Old
Look at it
Polygon
go.
Island. Yeah. Brilliant.
Wicked.
It's weird, this one, isn't it? 'Cause
It is.
You think it looks like a good game, and
Yeah.
it's an incredible impression of a good game,
Yeah.
but only on the surface. And
This-
they've just made some absolutely fundamental design errors.
This footage you see in here, you're probably going to think we're lying. It's like they employed somebody on the last day of production to deliberately handicap everybody else's work and just screw things up. The stealthy bits, the hiding in the dark bits, where there's 2 different types of dark, where you're not quite. Am I in the right kind of shadow so I'm invisible, or am I not? You
Well,
don't know.
to be invisible, you've got to stand in a shadow for 5 seconds. And first of all, I thought that was like a woolly, oh, that's just default with the game thing. But that's actually the way they want it to be. So you have to stand there for 5 seconds, and that's provided, as you say, the shadow is a dark shadow as opposed to a non-dark shadow. So instantly you've got this massive confusion zone, which is like, well, what's this all about? And there's things like grappling hooks. I like grappling hooks. I like to be able to throw a grappling hook whenever I freaking want and go up something. But no, not in Rogue Ops. What you've got to do is look for the grappling zone interaction point.
Fire it at
Eye it with the third person view, or whatever it is, first person view. And then you're allowed to throw your grappling hook.
Yeah, and
in the designated zone.
All the bad guys are they're familiar with the rules of the game, and so when you're stood in a corner thinking you're in the dark, they just come and attack you. Why are you stood there? That's not shadow. So there's that going on, and plus the fact that you just don't know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. Am I invisible? Aren't I invisible? Can I use this weapon here? It's just you blundering about. You're the worst agent ever. You go into this building, you're blundering about, making a hash of stuff. But there's better. There's so much better, and it's. I mean, it's sad that they completely bungled it, because graphically, some of the levels aren't that bad.
Quite nice, and you can play it and get through it and have a reasonable time. But you're always up against not just a heavily armed team of supervillains, but the criminal-like dynamics of the game. It makes it very, very hard. Admittedly, again, I'm looking at it and thinking, I don't believe my own words. It looks brilliant.
It looks brilliant.
But this is the sad truth of it.
Either buy Manhunt or wait for Metal Gear 3, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different sort of thing. But if you really want this game, pick up Splinter Cell on the cheap. Or wait for Splinter Cell 2.
Mm. Aye.
I know.
Aye, Ninja. No, little comedy ninja, brilliant. I don't know.
This game, again, it's one of those horrible games where we can sit here till we're blue in the face going, this game's brilliant, you have to buy this game.
Yeah.
And I know full well if I went to the shop today and I had a choice of this or something by EA which looked real and was dead good, I'd probably buy that thing from EA. And that is horrible because this is such a good game. And if we don't buy these games, they won't make these games.
They won't make them.
But look at this, it's like the Monkey Ball from that Nintendo machine. That's brilliant. Look at that. That's amazing. And it combines all the time. It's just like a sequence of little mini games.
Yeah, it's kind of it keeps on giving because you're not quite sure what's round the next corner. And there's lots of brilliant, clever ideas just back to back, one after another. And it's not realistic. It hasn't got a voiceover by Michael Madsen. It's kind of taking the piss really out of every video game that's gone before. It's as far as platform action goes. If something like Jak 2 is trying to be quite sort of serious, and no, this is character action these days. This is just mad platform stuff. It's great fun.
It harks back to an era where it was really all about this character-driven platform stuff, like your Sonics and your Marios. And in that era, this would have been a contender.
Mm.
And now it's just like a really good example, harking back to the past. But it just doesn't.
Look at that. I mean, you're getting like multipliers for killing stuff. You're getting a score. You know, it's.
That looks hard and good.
It's rock hard.
Yeah. But it's cliche. It's a real gamer's game. You want to test your reflexes and your skills. It's all there. This is good. The boss battles. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots when you get in behind in the first person view.
Yeah, it's cool. If you've had your PlayStation for a while now, you probably remember the old Destruction Derbies, both of which are by Reflections, the guys who do Driver. This is nothing to do with Destruction Derby as you know it in that case, because it's basically Sony on the name. An online game, a very simple online racing game that for me is kind of more of a technical demonstration as to what can be done with an online racing game rather than one that's actually any good. I didn't enjoy playing this single player at all. I found it too basic. It reminded me of something like Rumble Racing.
Yeah, it does.
Rumble Racing was cool. You know, that was really good. But very basic, colourful, fun. I don't know. It wasn't action-packed enough, and it wasn't serious enough, and the tracks were too small.
It sort of exists solely to give people a reasonable online game, just to say, look, it can work. And it doesn't feel like the old Destruction Derby games, where the beauty of that was like the damage of the cars, and for the first time ever saying, "Oh my word, look, this car, I can smash the front of it."
Yeah. That was once a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is just the cars look like some sort of like Lego Dayglow child's toy or something. It just doesn't seem to work very well.
There's this real kind of like NASCAR look to the cars, which I think is kind of for the European audience. It's just a little bit too young. I mean, I'd rather be driving.
Playing Burnout.
Yeah, I'd rather be driving like Need for Speed style cars, the kind of those Fast and the Furious style cars, than these sort of big fat American things.
And I think in single player it's got deeper problems with things like AI and people inexplicably appearing in front of you and having to score points all the time for no particularly good reason. It just seems, it's just a game.
No, I mean online works okay, but it's exactly what you expect in that you're getting barged off the track by people that you can't see and you don't know quite who it was that knocked you off. And so the overwhelming feeling is that it's just unfair.
Yes, Groove Rider.
Is it a racing game where you don't have to turn the car around corners?
Well, it's technically Scalextrics, but on PS2. So, and it does sound absolutely dreadful. All you can do is move between those 4 lanes and go fast.
It is at best original sounding then.
Yeah. But it's weird because it is kind of, you play it and you're snorting, going, this is pathetic, I'm much better than this game. It's a rubbish game. But then you come second and go, damn you rubbish game for making me go second. I'm going to play you again and show you who's the boss around here. And before you know it, you keep playing it, and it's quite reasonable, and it's damn cheap.
Do you ever fall off the track?
I think you can, but yeah, you've got to do something like boost at the wrong time and jump off the track.
Yeah. You know what we were saying about Rogue Ops, about how it looked great and was in fact rubbish.
Yeah, so I think I know where this is going.
The opposite applies here.
I mean, this isn't brilliant. I'm just thinking for
Everyone's watching this going, let me get this straight, you don't have to turn the corners. Very clever, kind of Micro Machines-y thing. And cheap. 10 quid, but would you rather get something on Platinum or something?
You're better off playing, I'm not saying bad, but like a proper game, buying it from the second-hand bucket. Just looking the mag and picking up a game that you've always fancied, but never quite thought out for, rather than get this. This is for like confused mums, this game. People who just want a cheap game, basically, and it's totally fine. It's just totally fine. Dig your Scalextrics out. Something.
Confused mums.
Yeah.
Or if you ever wanted to have an enormous Scalextric track, but your mum wouldn't let you, then this is all your dreams come true.
It's for some reason. Yeah.
The mighty Hugo.
Oh,
really?
where do you start with this crap?
Oh, it's harsh. It's not harsh, actually. It's just it's true.
The truth.
Yeah, it's just true. It's very easy to knock a comedy kart racer, particularly one as utterly rubbish as this, where there's just fundamental problems in it, and that you think, I'm quite an old geezer, I can play this game, it's no problem. And then you go towards the gates you've got to hit, and the gates walk away from you. And you're like, how can the gates move? What? And then you look up, and the gates are attached to like this ridiculous insectoid like monster going, ho ho ho, you have to chase me now, and it's rock hard.
Playing the game is
Look at that, the gates are moving.
Playing the game is about entertainment and feeling good about yourself. This promotes misery.
And it's a game obviously aimed at small children.
Yeah.
And the colours might it's a distracting game.
Yeah, look, see, missed the game.
Look at that! That's outrageous!
The gate twatted him. Jesus, it's so unfair. It's a game aimed at small children and making them sad and cry.
Yeah, that's awful. It's unforgivable.
Oh, look.
There's a lot of game modes, but they all amount to this. The frame rate isn't very good either, and it's just...
There's a big green blob that you're driving across. No, like not even... No.
It's not the worst game on PS2.
It's pretty close.
No, but it really is. It's in...
I can't even work out where the track is. What's going on?
Well, yeah, because the draw distance is so tightly in that you can't react to where. Again, if you absolutely love Hugo, and to be honest, I mean,
Well, who doesn't?
yeah, exactly, that is true. And you like games that aren't very good, and you're young, and you just want to press. It's like you may as well be in the arcade when you're a kid, and you a game. There's no money in it. There's no money in it.
Yeah.
And you're just pressing the buttons.
Just wibbling the handle
and you're
about.
pretending you're doing something.
Yeah.
It's not far off that.
In fact, go and do that.
More fun.
Go to your arcade and don't put any money in machines. Hello there.
Hello.
Alright, mate. This is brilliant. I really like this. It's weird. It's not online. It's not going to be online. They've pretty much said it. Alright, they've pretty much said it's not going to be online in the
but
UK.
it's likely it won't be.
It's like
online.
99.9.
Yeah.
So you have this mindset of oh well, that's crap, then we're only getting half the game. I hate this game. But when you play it, it's really, really good. It's got scenarios, I think it's 5 scenarios where that are all surprisingly big and really, really varied. So if you have an established kind of resi game like something like Code Veronica, it kind of takes you to 3 different locations and does all the usual resi stuff. This one, it's just got every idea chucked into it. You're off on because the missions are completely separate, non-related at all. It can do whatever it wants, and so it's all over the place. And you get that feeling, you get that excitement of reaching the end and finishing it. You get that 5 times, instead of one long kind of jaunt into it. The AI characters are a bit stupid, but at least they're there, and at least they behave in kind of predictable ways.
Bosh.
You find yourself picking up guns and giving guns to other characters, and then they can take the flak for you, they can shoot for you and stuff. Forget the online. Even without the online, I think this is really, really good. With the online, it would be a must-buy because you can play it and have great fun if you haven't got the online stuff, and then the online would be the icing on the cake. Unfortunately, we haven't got that little bit extra, but I still think it's great. I loved it as much as Code Veronica, easily. Looks great, full 3D environments, lots of characters, lots of stuff going on, but just for the sheer variety of stuff. New moves, things like even if you haven't got the key, you can kick down doors depending on which character you play as. And so there's kind of limited scope for even replaying the missions as different characters to find out what's going to happen. Trying to keep your teammates alive so they can help you. Certain things, only certain characters can do. It's great. Hiding under the bed.
It is really it's tense, I think, because you can't just storm through. People have got to help you, otherwise you're not going to do it. So you can't just run away and go, "Woohoo, it's all about me." It's like the guy in the horror films who runs away and tries to stitch people up and gets all mangled. Yeah, you've got to play for the scene. It's really good.
It is. When it's out, go get it because it's well worth it.
It won't be in Japanese.
Yeah.
I used to play here all the time. Yeah. Is your leg okay? Does it hurt? It does a little bit. I'm fine.
Fatal Frame 2, this is good news because I believe Ubisoft have picked this up to release it in the UK. That's great news because this is good. And it's a little bit different. It's sort of a different... who would think that a survival horror game where you have to take pictures of ghosts would be scary?
Yeah.
But it is quite scary.
It is. Well, I find it very scary. You find like sort of tapes of stuff. It's all a bit Blair Witch and a little bit nasty, to be honest. Yeah, there's no sort of massive machetes and jets of blood coming out of arteries and stuff. But yeah, you see, it's all very creepy. Kind of that Silent Hill creepy rather than kind of resi gore kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like slow, sharp bit, slow, and then you just get weird trailer, scratchy excerpts.
Like Ring then.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good shout because it's that inspired by that kind of darkness and just general spooky, nothing happening scariness, rather than like the full-on sort of action. This and Forbidden Siren, I think it's going to be a close call as to which one you're going to get because they're going to end up going up against each other.
It's an exciting time it's an exciting each time for survival horror because you've got this Forbidden Siren, very soon Resi Outbreak, then you've got Silent Hill 4 coming.
Yeah, which looks brilliant.
Yeah, it does look brilliant, and then you they're all good games and all worth buying.
Yeah. There's a lot of them about. You're going to have to choose very carefully. I'd go for Resi and Silent Hill. I know you're a big Silent Hill dude.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with the Hill, but I mean it's not out for another how many months, so certainly this is worth it. If it's the sort of thing you like, slow, patient games, a little bit weird, this is brilliant.
I know what that says.
Yeah, I know what that says.
Yeah,
as well.
It says Onimusha.
Does it though? It might say, it might be an intro screen, you don't really know what it is. You know what the game is?
Yeah.
It could say, well
Could.
done for buying another game from Capcom.
Onimusha. Blade
Warriors.
Kind of a spin-off, really. When it was first announced, I was thinking, oh, brilliant, more Onimusha already, but it's kind of a stopgap between 2 and the genre no crackers madness that is going to be Onimusha 3. Quite a straight stand-up fight, scrolling beat 'em up kind of vibe with it. A little bit more 3D than the usual kind of scroller. There's a little bit more going on, but quite basic.
It's not actually fully 3D, is it? You have to
No.
jump from kind of plane to plane, like in and out of the screen, which is a bit disappointing because I was hoping it was going to be like Power Stone, the old Dreamcast game, which was brilliant, but it's a little more simple.
It looks quite nice. It's all your favourite locations from the Onimusha games, which I know about 2,000 people bought the original Onimusha games,
Yeah.
which is tragic. But I'm a massive fan of the Onimusha games.
Oh, look at that.
Definitely get them in.
Business.
But all the characters are basically brilliant. And for me, the prospect of Yugai Yagyu, or whatever, so Yubei Yagyu fighting Samanosuke is massively exciting. To other people, that just sounds like complete nonsense. But there's such rich, powerful characters. To put them together is amazing, and there's everyone from the Onimusha universe in there, pretty much. And he's a baddie, Nobunaga. He really is a baddie.
Such a bad man.
Yeah. The control system is the same as the standard games, which in a way is, for beating up, a bit disappointing because it is quite limiting. So the game has to rely on a lot of power-ups.
Bosh.
Which is a little bit trivialising.
Arr, pirate racing.
It's not Ridge Racer. They're very keen to stress that, and the reason they're keen to stress that is because everybody loved Ridge Racer, and I don't think if you like Ridge Racer, you're not going to be that keen on this. This is the first track. You're forced into this kind of NASCAR-style bowl, and you're driving around it, and you think to yourself, "What's happened here? It's not what I wanted." But not very good.
Haven't they got some kind of Tucker race driver style story bolted onto the
Yeah,
race?
well, things like Ridge 4 and stuff had this whole kind of choose your team. You play the part of a sexy lady who
Against
inadvertently
another sexy lady.
who inadvertently
Bad
gets
sexy
herself
lady
raced.
wears dangerous colours and a scowl. Good lady wears blue. A very realistic story. Woman is an ambulance driver
That's right. Yeah.
and drives someone